Welcome to FEO on the Air, the voice of the festivals and events industry in Ontario. This week, it's Festivals Helping Festivals SOS. Share our stories with your host, Louise Jackson.
All right. So, welcome to Share Our Stories with Festivals and Events Ontario. We're happy to have you here today. And my wonderful guest, Nicole Merkle from the City of Barrie.
Hi, thank you so much for having me today.
So, Nicole is from the City of Barrie, and the event she runs is Game On After Dark. So, Nicole, how long has Game On After Dark been running? And what kind of inspired the idea to start it?
Yeah, so Game On and Game On After Dark have kind of gone through a lot of changes over the years. So to give a bit of history, the event Game On started in 2017, and it started as a daytime event that was all ages. And it was held at our Five Points Theater right in downtown Barrie. And we partnered with the library located just around the corner for their Comic Fest event. So we had kind of this big pop culture video game comic book event happening. And then in 2019, we decided to add the After Dark portion, which is a 19 plus event. And it focuses more so on the esports side of things with a video game tournament. And it also has some of those other features that we had during the daytime event as well, like the cosplay component. We also have a couple of vendors and interactive booths. Um, and then we all know COVID happened. We don't like to say that word, but it happened.
Dun,
And
dun,
so we
dun,
had to
dun, dun,
pivot. Get out.
You're not allowed to swear on this podcast.
Whoops. Um, so yes, it happened. We all had to adjust and pivot and do all of the things to make our events, still happen. The thing with Game On, though, with it being video games, we were able to do it online and it worked quite well. And it was through that time that it actually sparked a partnership with someone that we've been working with ever since, which is We Got Game, to hold the tournament portion of the event. So they did all of the online tournaments at that point, and then once things, started to kind of get back to normal and we could all go back to in-person events again, we continued to work with them to hold in-person tournaments as part of the Game On After Dark event. And throughout that, we kind of transitioned from the daytime portion and the evening portion and moved everything to the evening and continued to work and support the Barrie Public Library's Comic Fest. Rather than duplicating efforts and having all of those pieces happening at the daytime, we support and worked with them on that piece with their Comic Fest, and then that way we focused more so on the 19 plus event, which is a very unique event for the City of Barrie. A lot of our events are very family friendly focused, all ages, but we found that there was a gap for that older crowd, that 19 to 35 plus kind of group. And so that's where Game On After Dark kind of came into play. So, long story short, Game On itself started in 2017, and then the After Dark portion started in 2019, and it's been continuing on ever since.
And it's cool how that evolved. And
Mhm.
you mentioned We Got Game.
Yeah.
So We Got Game was actually a supplier vendor at Festivals and Events Ontario Conference in Niagara Falls, and I met them. And that's how, even though from my city, you're from my city, that's how
Yeah.
we connected, was through that. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a neat story and thing to point out was our relationship evolved because of the Festivals and Events
Hmm.
Ontario
Hmm.
Conference, which is fun. So, what are the biggest changes you've seen in the last couple of years that you've been hosting Game On After Dark? I know I witnessed some of them myself this year.
Yeah, like I said, it's evolved a lot over the years. It's always changing, and we're always looking at different ways to improve and grow the event. I think the biggest thing that I've noticed over the past couple of years is the attendance. The attendance has skyrocketed. It has grown so much. We see people coming from all over, from Sudbury, Toronto, obviously in Barrie as well. And not only that, when we hold the tournament, we also live stream it on Twitch, which is a video gaming platform where people can watch other people play games and tournaments and whatnot. So we also see people from outside of town, from further away, tuning in and watching, which is also really cool. So I think having those kind of neat tech features just really helps kind of grow and make people aware of the event. Not to mention, way back when we first started, I was the one running the tournaments, and while I play games myself, I can organize events, I can play video games, but organizing a video game tournament is a huge undertaking. So having We Got Game come on board and kind of take care of that piece from a more professional level has really polished the event as well, if I do
And
say.
takes a lot off of you as an event planner in
Yeah.
general, because working in events, we always think, I can do that part, I can do that part,
Mhm.
but then we overwhelm ourselves. So I would like to comment
Absolutely.
on the even though I play games myself part is just for those of you watching, we have a sniper here. Played Call of Duty and she's like, I'm not that great. And we all did a little rundown and she was quite good at it. So that was the
It
best
was
part.
luck.
That was personally my highlight of the
It
2025.
was all luck. It was all luck.
Bragging rights for your husband, right?
Yes.
So then again, from your perspective, um, in 2023 or 2024, sorry, you introduced hosts of the Game On After Dark. How would you say, and shameless self-promotion, that was myself and my co-host Infinite, so the Infinite and Louise show. Infinite is the voice of Street Fighter 3, Third Strike, so we had that game at that time. How
Mhm.
would you say that adding hosts like Infinite and myself helped elevate that experience and the energy and the storytelling of the event?
Mhm. Yeah, so it goes back to adding that kind of polished professional level to the event. Before, when we didn't necessarily have hosts, there was, no commentating, no interacting with the crowd. And both you and Infinite do such a great job with that. And I think that being able to interact with the crowd, commentate on the games, and get the crowd hyped and that energy going, just it makes all the difference. And having somebody who is in the video game industry in terms of being a Street Fighter, I think that component added just that extra bit of coolness, if I do say, to the event. For those that are fans of Street Fighter in particular, or just even, having that opportunity to meet somebody who voiced in a video game, I think is huge. So it just adds that extra layer of fun and exciting to the event, and we love having you both there.
And we love being there. So it is such a great event. And I think one of the uh of the event, but one of my favorite things is, and you talked about people going online, is the inclusivity of
Mm,
esports. I didn't realize how inclusive of a world that is. How does that make you feel when you see it? I know when Infinite and I leave, our hearts are full. We just love the attendees, the people that
mm.
come. How does that make you feel, like having such an inclusive event to offer?
Oh, it honestly, it is the best feeling ever. Seeing all of the happy faces. I mean, I think I'm speaking for a lot of event organizers when I say that a big part of what we do, putting the smiles on people's faces when we put all of this hard work into creating our events and people come and are happy, it speaks volumes. You can't buy that. Do you know what I mean? Like that is the best feeling, and it's part of the reasons why I got into this industry. And knowing that Game On was an event that was my brainchild that I created and came up with, and seeing people who share that same passion as I do for video games and pop culture, connecting with one another, making new friends, keeping it open and inclusive, barrier-free for people so they can all come out and experience the event is huge. And having the live stream portion as well. So for people that maybe can't perhaps come out to the event, but still want to partake in some way, can always join in virtually and experience it that way as well. So yeah, I love it. I always leave that event walking away so happy and like on a high for days after.
It's
It's
so
great.
great. It really is. And I think the people, like, people at these types of events, esports, Comic Cons, they can show up
Mhm.
alone and find friends.
Absolutely, absolutely. We notice that a lot. Just talking with some of the attendees throughout the evening while I'm there. I was speaking to someone at this last event saying that, they don't have a lot of friends, but they're trying to put themselves out there. So they wanted to come to this event because it's something that they like video games. So they put themselves out there, they came out, and next thing you know, they're sitting there playing a video game at one of our gaming lounges. And that's the great thing is it's not just a tournament. There's lounges where people can go and pick up a controller, meet a friend, play with them, come with their friends. And it's really cool to see that happen where people just start connecting with one another. We also have board games too. So, same thing downstairs in the lower lobby where all the board games are. Just seeing people connecting with others, whether they're coming alone or with friends, is amazing.
And an escape room.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We also have an escape room too, which is a huge hit every year. Um, People, again, same thing, come with their friends, meet other people, and get in there and solve the puzzles. It's great.
Neon sign making looked so cool this year.
That was a new addition for the 2025 event, and it was so cool. And I'm so upset I didn't get a chance to
Me too.
make
I
one
was just thinking
myself.
about that. Can we do a trial run for us?
Right? You're gonna need to come back just so I can test it out and make sure that this is okay for the event.
Right. Yeah, just
No,
in case. It was
just
so
in case. Yeah, you never
that's
know.
the neat part is you can come, you can cheer on, people can bond over a game.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest highlights that came out of this was when we met Mr. Joe. How
Yeah.
amazing was that? Did you know Mr. Joe before, or was that his first event?
No, I did not know him beforehand. And I believe that was the first time I seen him at the Game On event. And from what I understood, he is a big fan of Street Fighter, and that was the year that we did the Street Fighter tournament, and he participated, and he actually came in the top three for that game. So that was really cool, and seeing him and Infinite connect and carry on that bond afterwards was incredible. It
Wasn't
was a
it?
very touching moment, and to know that Game On had a part to play in all of that is very special.
It was the only reason they met. So, for those of you listening to this or watching, Mr. Joe has a syndrome called Bacterial syndrome, and each letter is a different piece of the syndrome. And in order to qualify or to have that syndrome, you have to have three of the seven. Mr. Joe has all seven. He's, I believe, 31 now. I think he just turned 31.
Hmm.
And he has had over 250 surgeries in his lifetime. He has a doctor that works with him. His doctor started out as a resident doctor, is one of the head doctors now at Sick Kids. So he was, he's, have you watched that kid with a controller? He's incredible. I call him a kid, he's 30,
Yeah.
but I think I'm dating myself. But anyway, so Mr. Joe had a dream, and Mr. Joe wanted to go to EVO, which is in Las Vegas, which is the world's biggest fighting esports tournament. And he wanted to go, and of course, with funds, and he has to travel with a caregiver. It was just too expensive and out of that. So Infinite came up and spent the day and played Street Fighter with Mr. Joe. Actually, Mr. Joe's like, you're in the new Street Fighter, right? Like you can pick a voice and you're in the online. He told us stuff we didn't even know. And we got CTV, we did some media behind it, and we're able to fundraise enough money to actually have Mr. Joe's dream come true and actually go to EVO this year. All because of your brainchild, Nicole. How good,
It's so touching.
how good does
It's
that
very
make you feel,
special.
right? And
Hmm.
I think that's the point that people miss with our festivals and events and in our communities is they bring people together. There's low barrier entry to get in, but they can actually experience a festival, an event, be part of a community. Uh, what do you have volunteers that help behind the scenes with this event? Because we've been talking a little bit about volunteer recruitment and being a little tougher nowadays.
Hmm.
Do you guys have volunteers with this event?
So we have a team of people that do all of the magic behind the scenes. We do have a small pool of volunteers that come out when needed for the night. So helping with, assisting with running the tournament or overseeing some of the video game lounge booths. But primarily for this one, we definitely rely very heavily on our theater staff, and big shout out to them because they go above and beyond to make the event very special, with putting in all of the very cool lights and effects and the music. To really create a vibe, I would say, throughout the evening. The if For anyone who's never been to the City of Barrie's Five Points Theater, it's really cool because where we hold the event, it's what we call as a black box. So there's no windows, there's black ceilings, black floors, and we put all of these uplighting, smoke machines, music going. So it kind of creates almost, would you say, like a nightclub kind of vibe, but all video
Yes.
games? Is that
Oh,
an
yeah,
accurate description? Yeah.
definitely.
And then in the lower lobby is more of a quieter lounge area with the bar service and board games and stuff. So again, we have a huge team of people helping to make that all happen and really create an awesome experience for everybody, as well as the volunteers and our events team as well.
And shout out to the theater crew for making our mics sound good. They make me sound even better. And they are such a pleasure to work with. I think
Yeah,
that's the part too. I watch you run and how busy, and I don't really think people who aren't in the festival and event world understand the
yeah,
undertaking it is to put on a festival or an event. You look at the of that one, also being part of the city, you're part of a lot of other major events.
yeah.
Uh, what do you have to, maybe say to people who are looking at getting into this industry or, coming forward into, or if they have an idea like yours,
Yeah.
bring it forward when you work in a city like you did.
Yeah, so exactly that. Getting into events, it is a huge undertaking. A lot of people, and some of you who are listening right now in the industry might laugh when I say this, but oh, we'll just throw it together. We'll just throw this event together and it'll just happen. And people think, you make a couple phone calls and the event just happened. And it's great when it looks that way from the outside, means we're doing our job well. But what people don't see is behind the scenes, all of the work and the stress and the sweat that goes into making these events happen and making them happen what seems to the general public that is attending a flawless event. But we all know behind the scenes there was so many hurdles, so many challenges. But um, like I said earlier, in the end, all of that is worth it when you get to the event day and you see people with smiles on their face saying how happy they are, how great this event was, and that means everything right there. Um, so yeah, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of stress, but it is so worth it.
So other cities looking at doing an
Hmm.
esports type event like this, you brought it, it was your brainchild, so you thought of
Yeah,
it. What advice do you have for them? Because esports is one of the biggest industries in tour. When I remember doing research, it's one of the highest spends
yeah,
per head per night in all events. So
yeah,
what do you have to say to other cities looking at doing something like this?
yeah. It's esports itself is massive right now. Um, People are making careers out of this. It is a multi-billion dollar industry, which is amazing. Um, but unfortunately, there's still a stigma for some people. There's that stereotype that people have portrayed as to what and who video gamers are. And that's not necessarily the case, the lens that people should be looking at. So for that perspective of things, I think people need to just have an open mind, do some research and look into what the world of video games is now, and esports in particular, and how it is actually bringing people together. It's very inclusive, and again, people are making careers out of this. On the flip side of things, and I've had a couple people approach me before in the past saying, we know esports is huge right now, and we really want to bring that to our town. And they come at it from, if we bring in all of this stuff and make it happen, people are going to come and we're going to get millions of dollars in. But the reality is, you have to build up towards that. You have to build your following. Now, it's a different story if you're in a larger city that maybe has a very large esports community already in it and a following in it. Totally different story. But for those that necessarily don't, and it's still kind of growing, you need to build that following. Again, doing your research, looking into what's current and popular, what people want to play. We always do surveys following our Game On event to see what games people want to play because what I might like might not be what somebody else likes and so forth. So surveys, getting feedback from people who actually attend and want to attend these events is huge. And and yeah, just having that understanding of what esports is and what it brings to the table and just building up towards that, whatever your goal might be.
And not everybody plays the same game, like you said. Like they'll
No.
focus on the Street Fighter franchise or the Call of Duty franchise. They
Yeah.
play those games. One thing I noticed is even the winners, and they're friends with like they're bugging, they're laughing, and they're kind of heckling each other back and
Yeah.
forth. But they're both the winner, the second place, the third place. They're all getting along.
Hmm.
I know
Hmm.
that was really neat. And last year we
Yeah.
had the what 2023 defending
Agree.
champion. Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's
Yeah. So part of the prize for the winners, we always make them a shirt and it says Barry's Ultimate Gamer and then the year that they would have won. So for last year's event, or sorry, this year's event in 2025, we had the 2023 winner wear his shirt and he came back to defend his title. And he actually did. He was one of the winners this year.
and he was
So
nervous because he had something to lose.
he did. He did.
Yeah, that was cool to
It-
see.
yeah.
And
And you're
everyone
right.
wanted to
Like,
take him down too, because
yeah.
in a
Yeah.
nice way, of course.
Yeah. But no, it was really cool to see a past attendee and a winner come back to want to defend his title. And he said, "I'm coming back in 2026 to get my next t-shirt."
Yeah, he did. I heard him say that. He's ready. It's
He's
awesome.
ready, yeah. So I think that that's pretty cool. And again, with the winners, everybody is so great. Everybody was just so happy to participate, even if they didn't necessarily win. And this year we were able to, thanks to sponsors, provide more prizing. So we were able to offer, a second place prize, the first place prize, and a couple others as well. So yeah, it's a really great crowd of people that come out. Everybody just seems to have such a great time and so much fun and super friendly. So
And I think one of the neat things that I liked when is a bit about your award. Talk about that and how special the award is that they get.
yeah, so we get a custom 3D printed trophy made every year. With the name of the game. And this year, because it was a Call of Duty game, we had the Call of Duty emblem in the middle. And the person who creates them is amazing. He always does a great job. And I find every year they're getting better and better. So this year it was a team based game, so 2v2. So each of the winners from the team ended up getting a trophy. And it says the year as well. So that way for this person in particular who's won now twice, he'll have a couple different trophies to show off over the years.
And
Um,
they're ones that you would want to show off. Like
yes,
they are a show off trophy.
they are pretty cool. I almost
Yeah.
wish I had one here to show because they're pretty awesome.
I
We
kept
also
taking it, and you kept thinking I was trying to take it.
I, you know,
She was
and
slapping my hand. It's not for you, Louise. We had a question here, Nicole. Do you do any city to city competitions with the online portion?
we have not done that yet, but that's definitely something we've been chatting about. So if there's another city that wants to get involved, let me know and we'll bring it forward.
And then we'll see who is the ultimate
Yes.
city gamer. That's even a bigger title. And
Yes.
also, we have a question here from Debbie. Does this draw an audience and how many people attend?
Yes, it does. So the Five Points Theater is on the smaller side. The capacity is about 200, and we get about 200 people throughout the evening. So the event runs from 6 p.m. till 10 p.m. So throughout that time frame, we get about that 200 mark. And then, like I said, we also do the live stream. So we are getting an audience there as well, which can reach up to a couple hundred to 1,000. I think in one year we had about 1,000 tune in. So
And how important, you mentioned because of sponsors and partner, how important are sponsors and partners for events like this?
They are a key part in making this event and all of our events successful. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to put on this caliber of event. It's thanks to them that we're able to offer some really cool prizing and elevate those prizes each year thanks to our sponsors and our partners as well. We work with a lot of people, local companies to add really cool and unique features. Like we mentioned, the escape room. We also had the neon um, sign making as well. So it's all thanks to them, and they're so important. So big shout out to everybody that comes on board for this event and for all of the events, really.
And we had a new Nintendo Switch there this year, so people could try it. Nicole
Did.
tried that system. There was another, I think the Retro Games had a game, and I spoke to somebody over there who was so excited because it was the game they played as a kid.
Yes.
I
Yes.
make them go back and play it, and they were just so excited to be playing the game. They just chatted with me, but I played this as a kid, and I'm
Right.
so good at it. It's like
Right.
Nicole who says she's not good at games, but don't believe her. So what does it contribute, do you think, to the city of Barrie socially, culturally, economically?
Mhm.
Again, these are things that us in the event world understand what they do.
Mhm.
Sometimes businesses might not understand how great it is to sponsor these events because sponsorship is going down across the
Mhm.
board in a lot of events, and
Yep.
they're crucial and they're impactful. So, what kind of impact does that have on the city, the businesses around?
Yeah, yeah. Again, like we've been saying, it is a community of people who, in this particular case, like video games and pop culture, and bringing those people together is a key part in creating this event um, and engaging those businesses. Now, the nice thing about Game On is because the hours end at 10 p.m. and it is right in our downtown, a lot of those attendees actually go to the bars and the restaurants along Dunlop Street there. We ask every year through our survey if people plan to or did attend or, sorry, visit some of the restaurants or pubs downtown, and 66% of the attendees from this past survey went to the bars afterwards. So we're bringing that foot traffic down there as well. So that's also impactful. And a few of our partners from this year actually were located right on downtown. So we're driving them right to their front door following the event, which I think is huge. And again, like I've said over and over again, just that community piece of having people connect with one another, making new friends and new connections, and coming back year for year to defend their title or to meet up with their buddies again. Um, so all of those pieces coming together, I think, create a huge impact.
I found too, because I go around and I interview people and I talk to them a
Yeah.
lot. I found in both years that there's people who are new to Barrie
Yeah.
and they don't know where to go and they find they come here. It is a free event too. We should mention that,
Mhm.
right? It is a free
Yes,
event.
everything is free. So to attend the event is free, to participate in the tournament is free, the escape room is free, even our neon sign making station that we had this past year was also free.
And it was packed the whole time that station.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yes.
and the business owner who ran it was so charismatic. We had some cosplay people come
Yep.
this year that we introduced. Can you talk a bit about the cosplay aspect?
Mhm.
And I feel like that's possibly an area you would like to see grow a little more.
Absolutely. Yes. We would love to see that area grow and bring back the competition piece. I think would be huge. So for those that don't know what cosplay is, um, it's like kind of like costume, but people are dressing up as their favorite, say, superhero or video game character or TV show character and recreating that look and sometimes even that persona so that some people will actually get right into character, which is really cool. So I'd love to see more of that because I feel like there's a big community of people in Barrie that like the cosplay, but there's nowhere in Barrie for them to be able to express that and come out to an event in their cosplay. So for something like Game On to be able to welcome people, come in your cosplay, whether it's handmade or store-bought, doesn't matter. We want to see it and we love it because people get so involved And some people go right out. Again, I wish I had a picture or something to show. We had this one year, this person had huge wings and her outfit was absolutely beautiful. So it's really cool to see how far people will go to make something incredible.
And there's certain rules to it. Like there's like
Mhm.
cosplay, you can enter stuff, but if it's bought, it's not really, it has to
Yeah.
be handmade. Like there's different levels of
There is
cosplay.
different levels. Absolutely, there is. Yeah. And in terms of, a competition component, it varies, right? So some might be, and we've done that before. We've kind of dabbled in it. Um, and yes, there's different outlines. So for example, like you mentioned, it can't be store-bought. It has to be handmade. And it could either be, something that you've created on your own and like your own imagination. So it's not a character that you would have seen in like a video game or movie. You've kind of created this character on your own, or maybe it is a replica. So there's definitely different levels and parameters around the cosplay part.
There's some very talented people in
There
cosplay.
is
Yeah.
very
I
talented.
don't think I would fare well compared to some of the costumes I've seen. Like, wow. I know they had big wings as well. She goes to the events in Toronto all the time.
Mhm.
And I follow her on Instagram now and seeing the stuff she does, I'm like, this is
Yeah.
so cool. And then just walking around the streets, people stop her.
Yes.
What do you?
Yeah. And then she opens up the wings and does oh yeah, it's very cool.
Right? Especially the wings. I think
Yeah.
you'd like feel pretty proud to walk with those. So,
Yeah.
looking ahead, we talked
Mhm.
about, involving the cities, growing cosplay. What is the big ultimate vision for Game On and Game On After Dark?
Yeah. I have a huge vision. I'd love to be able to grow it to a size where it can fit into one of our larger facilities and fill all of those seats and perhaps even capture some of those professional level esports players. I think would be really cool. Definitely still a ways to go from there, but we're heading towards there. So hopefully one day we'll get there. But for now, I'm just happy to see it continue to grow and people coming out, experiencing it for the first time or are repeat attendees. Yeah, I see a big future for Game On.
That's really cool. I love it. I see the future for it too. So, if you could summarize your key message or the story that you want people to walk away with
Mhm.
today, how people feel after attending Game On, what they should expect, what would that message be?
I think really focusing like the community part. It's a feel-good event. The attendees are great. They're so great, even, when I'm working and just chatting it up with the people that are attending and hearing how happy they are. So come on out, enjoy, have fun, make new friends. If you're coming by yourself, that's totally fine. Lots of people do that, and we'll make new connections there. And for those that still don't quite understand what video games are and what the big deal is about them, go to an event, check it out, come to Game On, see it for yourself firsthand, how impactful it can be in creating those relationships and community building. And I think that's really special.
It is really special. And it changed my out from that first time we walked in there and the people we met, it changed our lives. They're such great people. We definitely recommend checking it out. And last but not least,
Mhm.
Game On After Dark is a top 100 event with Festivals and Events Ontario. How does that feel to be included in that group?
Oh, that is amazing. Honestly, it is an honor, and that was one of my goals. To have an event that was my brainchild and seeing it grow to the point where it actually won a top 100 award is huge. And not to mention sitting here right now on an FEO podcast, like go me. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm pretty happy. This is a huge accomplishment, and I couldn't be more thrilled.
And you really deserve it, Nicole. I see how you work. It is, and yes, it is a once a year event that we host this. We were just asked that question. The energy that you bring, you're very, I see your skill, your professionalism. I see it on the video game. I see you running the event, and it's always just such a pleasure to work with you. We're honored to have you on the Festivals and Events Ontario podcast. I know that Infinite, I told him I was interviewing you today, and he said to say hi to Nicole. I think he was a little jealous. He wasn't going to be
Oh.
there. He was busy. We were going to maybe try to surprise you with him, but he had other engagements. So we
All
both
good.
really value you and the City of Barrie and what they bring, and most of all, the participants that come, Festivals and Events Ontario, for giving us this platform to talk
Mhm.
and to meet like-minded people. I met Dave from Game On because of Festivals and Events Ontario. And now we all created this really great partnership of people
Mhm.
who believe in festivals and events, believe what they do for the community, believe in this organization, and support each other. So thank you so much for being here. Congratulations to you for bringing this from your idea to life. It's not easy to do that. So we're very
Mm.
proud of you.
Well,
Just very
thank you
proud
so
of you.
much. It's been a pleasure, and likewise to you and Infinite. It's always been a joy working with you, and say hi back.
I will.
And again, just a shout out to the entire team that helps make this event successful, to everybody working behind the scenes, and to our partners and sponsors. We couldn't do it without all of you. So the thanks goes all around to everybody. And thank you for FEO again for allowing me to come on here today.
It was hard to get you past the test, but you made it. And game on.
Game on.
Game on. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for everyone who attended today and listening to this on Share Our Stories. I'm your host of this, Louise Jackson, and thank you so much, Nicole Merkle from the City of Barrie.
Thanks for listening to FEO on the Air, the voice of festivals and events in Ontario.